So in this video, I want to talk about Ascended Heroes because in my opinion, and I believe a lot of people have been saying this as well, Ascended Heroes seems to be probably the best Mega Evolution era set we've seen. Mega Evolution base is pretty good, but honestly, I don't think it's really anything that crazy. Phantasmal Flames is really just the Mega Charizard, SIR, and the Gold Charizard, and that's kind of it. And when you've looked at what we've seen so far from just Mega Dream from the Japanese side, that doesn't even include the other part, the Battle Deck 100 or whatever it's called. It just looks to be the best set by far. It's a pretty big set. You can see here over 290 cards. So, with that being said, it's seemingly going to be the best set here. Is it worth investing into at the current prices you can pre-order at? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So it's worth noting when this is going to be released. It's going to be released here in just about 2 months, a little bit under that, January 30th next year. So it is going to be after the holidays, which people have talked about, the holidays being a significant reason why prices have gone down for product. People have claimed that after the holidays, early next year, maybe sometime early next year, the market may rebound. That is something to note. About Ascended Heroes is the date. There's maybe some significance to that. Who knows? But potentially, if that theory is true, with people saying that early next year the market's going to rebound because it's after the holidays, hey, maybe this will go crazy. But at this point, who really knows? But that's why I'm making this video. Is it worth buying at these prices? That's the thing we got to know. Is like, what do you know the prices of the the products, mainly just the ETBs. So you can see here, Ascended Heroes. If you've never seen the leaks or anything, I'm going to show you guys just a quick preview here. So you can see here are the SARs. Frostlass, Pikachu. I know there's maybe mixed opinions about this Pikachu, maybe because of the crown, but I think this Pikachu looks amazing. You guys let me know. Am I crazy if we're thinking? I really like this Pikachu. Like, I mean, usually I don't have that, big opinions about artworks and stuff, but I really like this Pikachu. But that's just, my opinion. But anyways, yeah, there's, some really nice SARs here. The Gengar is obviously a big one people have talked about. This is like one of the first leaks from the set. The Zoroark people have also talked about, and the main featured card here, Dragonite. I really like this card as well. So this just has a lot of chases in it. It has the gold cards too, and I believe it also has the gold Mega Charizard Y as well. So this set just, like I said, it just seemingly is the best set. And I know there's mixed opinions about this Team Rocket's Mewtwo and how it looks. Yeah, it's maybe not the best thing ever, but it also has this Mewtwo. And like I said, we still don't have some cards that have been revealed from the set yet, but it just has a large amount of cards in here, a lot of depth. So Ascended Heroes just seemingly is going to be a pretty good set. Now, looking at the prices of the products, we're only going to be focusing on the PC ETB and the regular ETB just to see the price you can buy these at to determine is it worth picking these up right now or not. So Ascended Heroes, you can pre-order. And I know there's some sketchy sellers on eBay when you're buying pre-orders. You got to make sure, okay, does this person at least have maybe some history of selling pre-orders? Because obviously you could buy from them, they might never ship it to you, and you're gonna have to dispute it with eBay. It could be a hassle. But right now it seems like, because nothing's listed on TCG Player yet for market price or sales or anything because it's too far away. But you can buy a PC ETB of Ascended Heroes for $190. That seems to be the market price. And you gotta imagine, okay, we're also like I said, a couple months out, $190 to me, honestly, looking at how the set is, it seems kind of cheap. But one thing I will say is I can't remember a time that a PC ETB has come out, right, and hasn't dropped. I just can't think of any time where a set release and the PCTVs didn't drop in price by a large margin. I don't remember any time, but 190 seems pretty cheap. I mean, we've seen some sets like pre-order pretty high to the point where, like, okay, it's obviously not a good buy. For example, I think Dancing Rivals PCTVs at one point were, well, they're selling like $400-500. Like, it was ridiculous, and that's also a main set. So that was like obviously not a good buy. But at 190, that just doesn't seem that terrible. And I'm gonna show you guys, Black Bolt, White Flare, PCTV prices just to show you guys, it doesn't seem that bad. You look at Black Bolt, it's $150, and I do understand that. I'm pretty sure Black Bolt, White Flare, did these also get a PCTV drop not too long ago? I think I saw somewhere saying that. I don't know if that was true or not, but Yeah, these are $150 and White Flare is like 130. So I guess you can consider that maybe a lot cheaper than 190. But considering Black Bolt White Flare, the ETBs haven't performed at all. The regular ETBs have been the same price since being released. I mean, obviously the set, Black Bolt White Flare, they're not extremely popular. 190 for Ascended Heroes being possibly the best Mega Evolution set we've yet to see. It doesn't sound that cheap, but like I said, I take into consideration that I have never seen a set where the set releases and the PCTBs don't drop a lot in price because people just dump them, because obviously people just flip them. So personally, it's really up to you, because possibly is that chance that maybe according to some people that next year and after the holidays the market will rebound, and maybe then 190 is pretty cheap, maybe. But just in history, it looks like prices drop. Maybe they won't drop much because it's already kind of low. I know maybe that sounds crazy to say kind of low, but relative to what we've seen previously, 190 isn't that expensive, especially considering this is a specialty set. I don't think it's the worst buy at this price, but considering the market how it is right now, I probably wouldn't buy. I mean, I'm not buying them, and I didn't get any pre-orders of this, but I don't think it's a terrible buy if you were to ask me. But like I said, history shown they usually drop when the set releases. Now, there's really no sellers on eBay selling regular ETBs, but I did find Forge and Fire. I know there's mixed opinions about Forge and Fire and the company and stuff. I've seen opinions about that, but you can get a sealed case on Forge and Fire, and you can buy 2 units, so you can buy 2 cases, $4,000, which means that would be $100 per ETB. And I don't know if they have taxes, shipping costs. I don't really know, to be honest. I've never bought from them, but I do know, at least from online and people talking about them, they seem pretty reputable with just honoring their prices and everything. Do I think this is a good pickup? Now, obviously sealed cases, and we've seen with recently what's happened to ETBs when they get reprinted. They usually at this point go to retail stores, right? Sealed case premiums for ETBs and all these other products that get now just usually get released at stores. There is actually a early sealed case premium we see now. I mean, look at Prismatic Evolutions, for example. It is a thing. It's not like a huge thing where it's like a huge marginal, huge difference, but there is a sealed case premium for newer sets because just new products seemingly just get released on retail shelves now. So buying a sealed case where each ETB is $100, I don't think is that bad. And I'll just show you guys here just to give some background, some sort of reference to why I'm saying this. Look at Black Bolt, for example. Black Bolt, since being released here, has been around $85 to $90 this entire time. And Black Bolt White Flare, as we all know, they're not amazing, crazy sets, right? Like, they have nice artworks. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad set, but they haven't performed extremely well. I mean, you can just see it here, right? So considering, okay, you can get a sealed case for about $10 more per ETB for what seemingly is the best Mega Evolution set so far, and it's a specialty set. I don't think it's that bad. Getting a sealed case at that $100 each ETB, when you look at Black Bolt, White Flare is about, I think, around $85 or something like that. I don't think this is a bad pickup if you're going to buy this. Now, I'm not going to recommend it either, but I don't think it's bad. Like, if you're buying a case at $1,000, I don't think it's the worst thing ever. Now, is it possible there's a large amount of this product out there and they ramped up production or something? That could be possible. Maybe what I'm saying now is totally wrong, right, in the future. But just considering what we've seen with Black Bolt, and if you want to see White Flare, I can show you guys White Flare Elite Trainer Box. Here they're about $80 actually, so maybe a little bit less than Black Bolt. But I honestly don't think this is a bad pickup. Now, I don't know what other places are selling for, but if you're buying loose ETBs, okay, I would say at 100, maybe not the greatest pickup, but a sealed case at $1,000, like if you can get a sealed case at $1,000, I think it's not a bad pickup. But if you're buying a loose ETB at 100, then maybe it gets a little bit iffy because, like I said, retail drops are usually what seemingly Pokemon is doing right now with restocking product and distributing it is through retailers. So obviously, if you do it that way, loose boxes are going to drop more than cases. And like I said, you can see that with, for example, Prismatic Evolutions. So overall, I would say it really depends on obviously your perspective on how this market is going to turn out. after the holidays and next year. I think that's a big factor to consider here, because if people are right and correct about, that early next year things are going to rebound because it's the holidays and people aren't spending as much on Pokemon, if that's the truth and that happens, I could see some of these being not bad pickups. Like $1,000 for a sealed case, I don't think that's bad. And 190, I don't think is the worst thing ever. But like I said, I don't remember a time where they haven't dropped in price on release. So those are my thoughts about Ascended Heroes, about the ETB prices at least. I don't think they're bad pickups in some circumstances, but it really depends on how you see the market. Personally, with me, I kind of don't really buy the whole thing of, okay, it's holidays, that's why the market is a lot lower than it was already dropping before holidays even came around, but people saying that's why it's more noticeable. But people are thinking it's going to go up next year, but I don't know if the market's really going to do that. I mean, the market has been somewhat weak in the last 2 months as we've seen. So personally, with me, I'm just holding off. I haven't invested yet, but hey, if the market starts to change, maybe I'll change my mind. But for now, as I speak and make this video, I'm not really rushing to buy this. But there are some opportunities. Like, I don't think this is that bad of a buy. But let me know. Are you guys investing into Ascended Heroes on pre-ordering right now at these prices, or are you not? Like I said, I'm not, but I wouldn't blame you if you're buying at some of these price points, because they're seemingly just not that bad. But you can always be patient, and honestly, that's not the worst thing to do in this market where seemingly just everything is dropping in price, and there's really no signs of huge strength in the market. So that's all I want to talk about with Ascended Heroes. I know it's kind of far out, but I thought I'd make this video because I found a few deals here, you could say, or noticeable things about the prices. So I just want to make this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.